We're out in California touring Mark and Valerie's home from At My Home. If you guys haven't checked out their channel, they do awesome reviews on products. This home actually has all sorts of technology from 10 years worth of testing. So we're gonna learn about all the different gadgets they have. And trust me, there's a lot. But stay tuned to the end because Mark is gonna share a story that can actually save your life. Let's go. As we approach the front door, we've got the UV wall light. That's gonna have that camera. Now, they didn't have the socket built in, so what he's done is put that externally and plug that in. We also have one of these delivery box things.
So the package butler is the thing they sent us, geez, it feels like 2 years ago. But basically you come in and the delivery person scans their package, the QR code or the barcode. And yeah, you scan it and then the door opens up and they put the package in there and it seals it away.
Mark was telling me that about maybe 1 in 4 drivers will actually use the box. The rest are just going to place it right down there. So that delivery driver, when they approach the door, they're going to have 3 options for which doorbell to pick. Since they're testing a bunch of different products at all times, they've got the Eufy lock with the doorbell, but then also another doorbell here and here. So if you're a delivery driver, you got a lot of choices. So here we have the dual lock that has the fingerprint as well as the camera and the doorbell. You can use the code to get in. Otherwise, there's a key down here as well. There we go. One thing with their front door is we've got a variety of different sensors. We got this one and that one and that one.
So that one there is probably a dead battery in it right now, but it's a G Jasco. Actually, I don't know if it's Jasco, but it's a G sensor. Basically, it tells you the door's open or closed, right? That's kind of cute. It's Jasco? Okay, Jasco. And then there's the Wink sensor on the top, which they actually still work. It's pretty amazing. They're Zigbee and they still work. And then below it is the sensor from the Wise setup for the Wise security system. They work great. And then that's it for those. And then you've got, of course, the door lock. And the cool thing about this S330 door lock is this is a rechargeable battery.
So they're going to be getting a lot of notifications. Part of the reason is they're testing all these different products at the same time. What I like about their property is they've got really nice smart lighting setup. They're using primarily Z-Wave switches, but they also have some GE switches as well. Here we have a Roomie sensor from IntelliThings. That's going to use Bluetooth to identify who's in the space.
So right now it's noticing I'm there, but nothing's going to happen because I have nothing programmed for when I walk in here. But it is important because it knows I'm here, not in the kitchen, for example.
Here we have the Wise switch as well in this office. These blinds are smart. The lighting in here is smart. We've got voice assistant, of course. A working desk, so we won't show that, but we've got sensors in all of the rooms. So right here we're detecting for presence. We've got air quality sensors.
Then if you go up in the ceiling, these are Nest Protect smoke detectors. These are fantastic. I mean, we've had them for years to the point where we actually had to replace them all because they do both smoke and carbon monoxide. And as a survivor of carbon monoxide poisoning, believe me, we always have carbon monoxide detectors in the house. I lived in a townhouse in North Carolina, and there was like 8 units in the townhouse. And the lower floor was the garage and a room, and then there was 2 other floors. And one night, my daughter comes in the room and she says, "Dad, I got a real headache. I'm gonna go downstairs and just lay down and relax." And then I was supposed to travel that morning, and I woke up, I felt like crap. So I went downstairs. Steffi was feeling like crap, and I tried to go to my office and call into a conference call, and I couldn't. I knew I was punching in the number right, but I really probably wasn't. And I just couldn't dial in. It was like really weird. And then finally, we're like, something seems really wrong. So I called the gas and electric company up, and they said, "Get out of the house. You have a carbon monoxide leak." And I went, "What?" And so we opened the garage door and went to the garage next to us because I started to get a little worried. And he put his probe under the garage door from the guy next to us, older gentleman. And the fire department got there. We told the captain what was going on, and he told his guys to break down the door to the guy's house. And they found him, he had passed away in the middle of the night because basically he got home and He's a little hard of hearing and stuff. And got home, left his car running, unfortunately. And then he went upstairs, and it got him. And my daughter was not feeling good because of the same thing, because it was seeping through the. So all these things where they got fire breaks and everything else is all baloney. It's like, yeah, great for fire breaks, but it's not for carbon monoxide. So basically, lesson learned was make sure you have a carbon monoxide detector. It's going to save your life. And by the way, if it goes off and it seems like nothing, because remember it's odorless, get the hell out because it's real, right? He would have lived had we had one. You got to use it. You got to have it. It's the fact that any state or county or whatever does not have a law requiring those is insane.
Most states now have it as a requirement, but a lot of older homes don't have them. You know, it's only anytime it's sold is when it gets checked. And so if you've been in your house a long time, there's a possibility you don't have one, or they have one and it's not in the right area. Like they keep it on the ground, or they it's not close enough to the bedroom for it to matter, or that they unplug it because the battery dies and they're annoyed by the chirp.
So the cool thing about these, the ones from Nest Protect, is when the Nest Protect goes off for whatever reason, whether it's smoke or fire or carbon monoxide, it not only alerts with the sound in here, it talks to you in every other room.
In the dining room here, we've got a camera set up. They actually have their cameras set up so that they turn off when they're home for privacy. So when they leave, the smart plugs turn on, and that's going to turn on all the cameras for recording. It's the air quality monitor. Here we have the GE sync switch. They've used this in a variety of different spots. What's really cool is that you can use it for circadian rhythm, so the lighting is going to change throughout the day. And here's a spot where there actually isn't a switch behind there, so it's kind of similar to the Pico, and it's going to be controlling that lamp.
This is our living room. So the living room, all the lighting in here is from Sync or G Lighting Sync line. And you know, we got the strip light, we got light bulbs from them, and they're all hooked up. And then over here where you're standing, we've got another motion sensor. And then we have another Wisecam Pan V1. And it's actually, normally, we don't have it plugged in right now. Normally I plug it into the smart outlet down there. And again, same thing where it comes on when we leave. And then we've been just started testing the Aqara FP2 millimeter wave sensor. It's cool. I've got it set up where if you're sitting on the couch, you're sitting on the island, or standing in the kitchen, it knows where you're at. Motion sensor, that's a Z-Wave motion sensor. And then over here, we've got our fancy TV. And then underneath, I don't know if you looked under here before, but so under here, we've got a nice Denon receiver. It's all automated. And then there's a small bridge in here because we've got so many gadgets. You require networking. It's here. There's an Apple TV in here, and then that panel over there keeps track of the temperature and actually will turn the fans on if the temperature gets too warm in there because it's a closed cabinet.
And I've noticed a lot of places there's going to be these hubs and little bridges for the different devices that they've been using. In a lot of cases, they're not actually active. It's kind of funny. So if you were to come in from the garage, we've got the smart lighting here, we've got the Wise security system, and we've got the Wise lock. The bathroom's going to have the lights automatically come on for us. Same with the shower. So if you're going to be taking a shower, the light and the fan will actually automatically turn on for you. Back here is where all the rack is with all the different hubs for all the different things that they're testing.
And then in the cabinet here, we got a bunch of stuff. So we've got our this is a 16 port switch, so we can distribute everything through wires if we have to. Then we got the Aris S33 cable modem, very fast. We get like 1400 down and 40 up. So this thing worked out really well. This device over here is from a company called Connected. So if you have wired sensors in your house, like we have all the window sensors that are wired, they just hook into here. That's what these are all here. And they just hook into here and it makes it work with SmartThings.
Here in the bedroom, I noticed there was the Zoo's scene controller as well as their Z-Wave switches. We've got the smart blinds in here as well.
And they're from a company called Third Reality. And we started with one they sent us to do a review on. And we ended up filling the whole bedroom with them. So I can sit here and say, close center left blind. You see this little foot down here? Mm-hmm. When it hits here, it turns off. So you don't have to sit here and calibrate your blinds as to how far they are, how long they are. it automatically would turn off. The other thing we do is we put a temperature sensor. Now we used to have this sensitive strip here, and it's actually pretty cool, the sensitive strip. This actually will do water as well, check for moisture, but we put this in here for the temperature sensor so that we can tell the blinds, hey, if it gets too hot from the sun, because we get southern exposure, it'll shut the blinds. So then I took a third reality temperature and humidity sensor and put it in the window and do the same thing, just make a quick modification to it.
And then above the bed there's a bunch of different sensors that they're using for their automations. And again, over here we've got the AirThings Wave, so contact sensors on the window, of course, for security and other things. Here's the bed jet, keeps the bed nice and cool. Here in the bedroom, there's a ton of sensors that are going to control things like the lights, the shades, the fan, make sure things are nice and comfortable for you. Of course, you can use your voice or use the apps on your phone as well.
So in the kitchen, we've got a few things. We've got some automation underneath here, cute strip light and below here, so the light should come on underneath, and I got them set up to flash different colors. It's kind of cute. There's that thing there. We also have these things from Notion, so this is kind of a new system. Basically, this thing will measure temperature, it'll look for water leaks. So these are whiz down lights, you just plug them in where your lights were, and they're really cool because you can control them with the app if you want, but what we do is we have them set up what's called circadian rhythm. So if I want, I can tell it to go to a certain temperature of the light, but what's happening is as the day goes on, the lights get yellower and yellower, or warmer and warmer, so that the evening it's not so bright in your eyes. But when we come in for the morning for our coffee, it wakes you right up with nice bright light. The whole kitchen is controlled by Z-Wave and Zigbee switches, and so we don't turn the lights on and off here on Wiz. What we do is we turn off the wall switches. So turn on kitchen. Now the other thing that's in here is there's a roomie sensor in the kitchen. So if we come in here with our watches or our phone, it knows I'm in the kitchen, it will turn all these lights on as well. So most of the time we never ask to turn the lights on or off, or we never use the switches. We just let the roomie and the IntelliThings system take care of it for us.
So these are those GE lights. They do have the circadian rhythm. Again, we have that roomie sensor from IntelliThings. A variety of different switches here, different sensors. Here's a studio. They got it all set up, so anytime they can come up here and record. They tell me they try to film 2 videos a week, and they also do a live stream. You got all your stuff you're testing, so what's your process like for testing products?
This the truth?
Yeah.
It's what we like. It's about testing. So for example, the G sink products and everything else, it took us months of testing for a couple of reasons. One, you got to get to know how they really work. Secondly, they don't always work perfectly. So one of the things that's kind of our shtick is we'll work with the manufacturer until they get it right. Our whole thing is if we don't like the product, we either return it or we work with them to fix it. And most of the time we'll work with them until they get it right. And G was that way. We went through a bunch of things with them. They finally got it right, got things fixed, and then we did the review.
Things are very well organized given the amount of products that they're testing at any given time. I love that they can just come into this room and just set up and start recording. So everything's exactly where it needs to be. They've got all the products in queue that are ready to be tested, unboxed, everything. And then behind them they have like their backdrop, which looks pretty nice. And then coming into Mark's office here, see a number of smart plugs that are being used for a variety of things, more smart switches, and then products or things that are in progress. We've got sensors galore. Got all his camera gear set up. Over here we've got a Sensibo air sensor. We've got the Apple HomePod. We've got the Allen sensor.
This is my office. So you saw the studio, right? That's where we shoot a lot of the videos. But this is the post-production facility, right? So big iMac, loaded up with lots of memory and all that good stuff, and then a couple extra monitors so I can totally run the whole thing. And then the big thing when you start doing creator stuff, start doing all these videos, is you got to save them all. And believe me, it's not going to fit on your disk inside your Mac or your PC. So we got this OWC rack over here. It's called a Flex 8. It basically holds up to 8 drive bays in it, which is really cool. So I can back them up and I can put them in what's called a mirror mode. So when I back up, it automatically writes to 2 different discs. So theoretically, if something goes wrong, I might still have a copy.
I absolutely love this beautiful outdoor space. Here in California, it is hot out today. Whew. We've got this really cool pergola set up. We've got their lights strung up. The camera is just hiding everywhere throughout a variety of different manufacturers. And so there's that GE light strip, little light up. I have Spy over here, try to count how many cameras there are. A real link in the tree there. We got a Wise down in the bushes. Up there we had another Wise camera. We got a off-brand camera there. And when we come over into this space, I spy another Wise, real link camera. That's got the solar backup. So I'm sure he's getting all sorts of notifications of me hanging out in his backyard. And I'm sure this space looks absolutely incredible at night. Thanks so much for letting me come and tour your property. For you watching at home, check out this video on screen now where I went and toured George's property from Silverhammer Surveillance in Omaha. And we're actually going to catch up with him at the end of this road trip. So looking forward to meeting up. Take care.